Alrighty guys, how's it going? It's Mr. X from Team Extra, back at it again. I covered some Maliss yesterday. I figured I'd do a little bit more in-depth today. I'm going to explain like some of the lines with Firewall, like standard Firewall and Neotempest, appropriate times to use them, and like looping with Firewall, right? Now there's a couple different ways you could do it, but I'm going to explain the most simplest ways, right? So I'm just going to grab two like relevant cards, because there's two ways to do it. There is the first way where you go into Firewall and then you put like names back in your hand, right? Or like Bestials, for example. Or you that's if you're like going first, or if you're going second and you've already hit them with hand traps, right? You can use Firewall and then put the hand traps back in your hand. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna draw a pretty generic hand here. I'll just keep these up here, and then I'll show you like where I would typically use Firewall, right? When it comes to like this stuff, we're gonna just shuffle it up, see what we get, right? Because all I really need is, if you watch the first video, I need 1 of 4 cards to do the 1-card combo. But on your way up through that 1-card combo, you end up going into Firewall anyways. So let's just draw a hand, right? Realistically, like I said, you just need to see 1 of those 4 cards in hand, and then you can kind of just do whatever, right? So let's draw the hand. Cat, called by Dotscaper, Veiler, Underground. Cool. We have Underground. That's fine. We'll just play off that. So this is the starting hand, right? We're just going to go with it from there. I'm going to leave it all open-ended. I'll explain everything as I go, because we have a couple different little lines we could do here. We also have Chessy Cat, and so we'll start with Underground, right? Underground Banish. If you remember the first video, the most common one is Dormouse. Dormouse effect, special back. You're gonna pay your life points, but that's irrelevant. Chessy Cat being in your hand as an additional name is really, really huge here. Dormouse effect again to banish your rabbit from deck, right? Rabbit effect. Special. Now, rabbit effect as well. This is still the hand, like I said, because we got the 1 hand trap. Now, we can normal this Dotscaper too, by the way. We could. Now, if you were under shifter, you would grab this first. If you were not under shifter, you would grab this. Right? Standard stuff as before. Right? So we're just gonna go through our lines, work our way up. Now, in the interesting situation here, you don't have Bestials, so you really could just go into Splash Mage here, right? You have Called By to deal with a hand trap. Plus, you haven't done the normal, which Dotscaper would be pretty huge here. And then there's Chessy Cat in hand. I want to, like, you could normal this, but you'd get more mileage out of Dotscaper, in my opinion. Chessy Cat's good, but if Chessy Cat's your only starting name, it is the worst one, because it's the only one that doesn't do the 1-card lines. So from here, so these have both been banished. So we just go straight into Splash here. So we go straight into Splash Mage here, just because. Now, we can go Splash. This is assuming you haven't been nibbed yet, but we haven't done enough summons for nibbed. We'll just bring back the rabbit. These. And, Ransom. Now, since we have the field spell already, we don't have to do Ransom. We can go straight into Binder. But chances are we are probably going to normal this Chessy Cat to get it in the rotation as an additional name over the Dotscaper, which is the only reason why I do this or that, is we're going to try to draw cards. So, Ransom will get your, we'll get another Underground, right? Cool. Now, normal Chessy Cat. Chessy Cat effect, banish Underground, draw 2 more cards. So, this is our current hand, right? Baldric and Rabbit. Now, Baldric is dead right now because of the Cyber Slock, right? If I remember correctly, it's for the whole thing, as it should be, which is fine. So from here, you can, you have two plays you could do. First one, we just go ahead and go TP11, ransom, right? Now, ransom would banish one from deck when it comes back, but your dot's right here, so you're not going to end up doing that. But you are still going to do this to get an additional body, right? So from here, I just put out another Chessie, and then ransom effect will come back. We've done all the... Well, actually, we have a better idea. We have a much better idea. So, we go back here, right? And this is me not thinking far enough into it. So, we'll banish the other... We will, so, TP11, right? We'll summon another name. So, we'll just summon like a Dormouse. And then ransom will come back, and then banish the Chester. And then Chester effect to come back as well. Now, placement's relatively important here, so we're going to go ahead and work our way into it. Now, we can go into Firewall right now, but we don't need to yet, but we are going to here in a minute. So, from here, I would either go into Binder or Firewall. Now, you use Splash, but we could go into the Lizard, but we're still locked on our Splash, right? So, we're just going to kind of go into the Binder here, in my opinion. So, we'll take these. We'll go these three. Alright. I got a better idea. Link the cat. Decoder. Down here. This. Cat. Into, well, actually, this, we'll do it like that, right? And so we could go these three in the binder. Binder effect, we've done all of our banishes when it comes to like the names, right? So we just banish the trap there. There's no reason to banish other ones. Well, actually, we have a double cat, so I'll banish a cat too, for cryptor reasons. And then there's a things effect. This thing will come back. I'll just put it over there. And then binder effect set trap. Now from here, you would initially just make your firewall, right? Next play is firewall. This is the hand still, by the way. Hand's still pretty good. We started off with 5 and we still have 5. We're midway through. Okay. So from here, you could take these two or these two and make a firewall. In this case, I would take binder and the decoder, make the firewall. Now, Firewall's killing to 1, so right now what he can do is, assuming you don't have anything of use to put back in your hand, you can just go Firewall effect, and then put a name back in hand, right? So in this case, I would put like Dormouse back in hand, because it's like your best generic name, and Rabbit in graveyard is kind of important. And then from here, you have a couple of choices. If you didn't do Splash, you would do Splash here, but you wanted the most generic way out of it. So let's say if we wanted the most mileage out of this, right? We wouldn't make Firewall yet. We'd have these, right? But this is assuming you don't care about your trap card, which you probably do care about the trap card. Assuming you don't need this trap card, right? You could just do this, binder, and then special back like, well, I wouldn't even do that just yet. No, you just still do binder, and then you can special back just one of your names in general, right? And then binder effect will come back as well. I'll just put the name there. Binder effect come back. Draw a card. Drew an Ash Blossom, cool. And now you could just make your firewall here. So you could take these two. Well, in this case, you'd probably want to take these two into your firewall. And then firewall effect, put this back in hand, right? This is assuming you don't need that trap card, but you're going to. This is just like one of the ways you can get into it. And then these would go into Neotempest. right? Neotempest, just dump your targets, which are those. But hey, so initially Firewall is good, but most of the time you don't need to do it. But if you are going second and you're like climbing up into it, or if you're going first and you want to put recursion in your hand, Firewall loop is good. I know I just spent like 10 minutes explaining that, but that's just me going down the lines. So let me simplify it, right? I'm just going to simplify it. So let's say you got your Firewall. You already got Firewall out. And then you got your ransom, and then your binder. Now typically you'll be in this situation a lot if you're just doing your regular lines, because you take these and then you make Neotempest, right? And let's say you have just some random stuff from like your turn, because let's say you do this going second, you're going to kill, and then you can't kill him, right? So you climb up in the Firewall, and then let's say you got like a Veiler and like an Ash and Graveyard. So when you summon Firewall, you just do its effect, you target these two, and put them back into your hand on summon. Now, Firewall, bounce effect on field, that's cool, but most people are not going to let you just Firewall their cards. You have a better chance of just putting stuff back in your hand, or on the off chance of, if you get to Firewall their stuff, you probably have other ways to get rid of it. But hey, now, I'm going to talk about Neotempest real quick. So, Neotempest is just the best choice for right now. We are going to have a better choice coming out soon. Neotempest does a lot of stuff. For anyone who hasn't read this card before, it can negate monster effects in the battle phase. And each time it dumps an attribute, like it's dark, if you dump like a water or something, it'll have dark and water, and it'll be able to attack twice with it. Now, it can attack monsters twice, like based off the up to the number of attributes it has. That's one thing that I misread last week. That's fine, didn't change too much. But yeah, he's pretty annoying. He's pretty good. Your main line or your main play is if you are going first, because I've seen two different ways of doing this. If you're going first and you make him, you're gonna dump this guy. And then on your opponent's turn, you have two choices. You can dump Aggregator for disruption, or you could do something that I should have been doing last week because I was dumping Aggregator. You can dump Code of Soul during your turn instead, so you can banish it, use your Neotempest and whatever you bring back off your trap card. Trap card being the one I just showed you guys, but I'll show you again real quick. All of that. And then link in the Cryptor, or link in the, if you ended up doing Neotempest without doing Firewall, you can make Firewall on your opponent's turn to create disruption. Hopefully this video helps. There is, I do have more stuff pertaining to this. I'm just kind of seeing what kind of information you guys want to hear. Feel free to leave comments down below, like, subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot of Maliss content for a while. I also still do Mimical content, but, you know, I've been focusing on just the new deck for the time being, just because it's new, it's fresh, and I was playing Mimical since release. So, not much has changed with that outside of, like, it is still Rogue, but it is a fun deck, right? But, yeah, that's all I got for you guys. Like, comment, subscribe. If this video gets 5 likes, I'll go ahead and put up a deck profile for what I'm currently working with Maliss. Also, quick discussion. So there's like 4 different variants for Maliss, but it all comes down to how you want to play this deck. Do you want to play really high ceiling? Do you want to play a lot of hand traps? Do you want to play Sky Striker engine, which was the best one at the YCS, if I remember? That was the one that just happened. Or do you want to play the Cash engine, which Cash engine seems good, but I don't like getting hand trapped. So Crossout's been kind of the MVP I started with, and based off locals last week, it went crazy. Outside of that, hope you guys enjoyed the content. I'll be back with more. Some of my team will be back for more as well. And then maybe we'll even get a Ryziel deck profile into while we're at it, because some of the boys are playing Ryziel, I'm playing Maliss. You already know. Thanks for watching, guys.